Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Master Division in the Holiday Hills tournament video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. You can get the December special, which is the updated text guide for this tournament, but also for the upcoming tournaments in December month for only half price. Check out patreon.com/golfclashtommy for that. On the right hand side you see info boxes and you will see the elevation adjustment for the drive, for the second shot, what type of ball and also what type of club that I think is going to be the key club and ball for this tournament. I would also say for this tournament it's going to be required to play with special balls kind of more than other tournaments, to be honest, because we do have a lot of headwind and we do have some par 3s that are very tough, or we're going to have to reduce the wind. That is not something that is made up by myself, it's just how it is. So if you're going to play Master, make sure that you have some type of power 4 balls, some type of wind 5 balls, otherwise you're gonna struggle big time. But in the end, let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1, we are going to play with the rock, and here we can play with the rock level 7, level 8, level 9. You don't have to have level 9. There is only going to be one little tweak if you go from a level 7 or 8 to level 9. First, 2.8 bars backspin and 0.8 bars side spin to the right, with the blue ring by the rough line with the white ring falling down into the sand on the left. Then we're going to adjust for a medium distance plus 15. And then we're going to go with no curl whatsoever. Now playing with the rock level 9 gives me a bit better accuracy, which means that my rings are smaller. So in the end, when you play with the rock level 9, you go with 1 bar of side spin to the right instead of 0.8, which is going to be the little tweak that you're gonna do. Then you're gonna be super fine. For hole number 2, we do need distance. This is going to be a very tough hole for all of us when we're going to play. We have to play on the left hand side to give ourselves a pretty nice attempt for the albatross. Stretch out your club into max so you can see the half of the red ring inside the rough to the left. Max side spin to the left, which is 4.5 bar, no top, no backspin. Once you have made your adjustment, you push your target up to max. And then you're going to go with approximately 75% of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the left, with a bit more than 50% overpower. A lot of things there that you have to have in mind, but it's very, very crucial, as otherwise you will fall short into the bunker, or you're gonna go into the rough and then you're gonna be basically dead. Second shot, no elevation whatsoever. We're going to go directly at the pin here using our sniper, and that's the reason as well that we're using a power 4 ball to give ourselves a much better chance for an albatross, but obviously as well that we don't have to go with max overpower with your drive. You can hit great right, great left with your drive, just need to add that as well, so you don't have to be afraid about that drive, and if you're lucky, you're gonna get that one in the hole for a nice little albatross. For hole number 3, we're going to play this one as a par 3, but I'm not going to play this one for an hole-in-one. I'm going to play this one for a safe eagle. You can see there when I wiggle back and forth, you can see that my ball guideline is basically stuck, and that is the position that we're looking for. I'm using, in this case, 7.5 bar topspin, using the Thor's Hammer level 6, and even if I would be having Thor's Hammer level 7 or 8, I would use that club above the Apocalypse. But if I don't have the Thor's Hammer, I would be going with the Apocalypse instead, due to us needing the topspin. If you play with a power 3 ball, you're gonna have to overpower most likely a fair bit, and in the end, when you have to overpower, you're not always going to hit perfect, and then you will have to rely on that you're getting a good bounce out from the rough. From here, we're gonna have a very nice and safe eagle wedge, which is going to be no problem to get in. if you do play with or have a 3-point ball which has wind 5, power 3, I think that's a very, very good choice on this hole here, because then you're going to have to then you can play that shot without having to go into overpower. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment is what we do play, and this one needs to be an eagle all the time. So for hole number 4, we're going to play with a wind 5 power 1 ball and side spin 2, which is an eyeball, and we play with the quarterback. Now we're going to look for half of the blue ring inside the rough there at the top, combined with the ball guideline going slightly short of the pin. 2 backspin, 4 bars of side spin to the right, and we're going to adjust from maximum distance plus 20%. And in this case, it's going to be 8.5 rings. Once we then take our shot, you're going to notice that we're going to come in fairly hot, but that is all calculated for. This is a tough par 3 to get any consistency on, but I do believe following these steps here, you're going to see yourself being either close or you're going to go and get it in the hole. For hole number 5, we are going to play a very aggressive drive, but that is, in my opinion, the only way for us to get a decent chance to make an eagle here on hole 5. And in Master, you're going to have to be prepared on taking a little risks like this. And now we're going to play with a powered 4 ball, and I would like you to change your thoughts about using like a fireworks ball, because that fireworks ball gives us wind 2. We do want wind resistance 3. So we're gonna choose a dead ball, athlete ball, open ball, anything like that. And we're going to adjust with a starting point of the red ring by the rough line with clubs like Apocalypse 7 and 8. With an Apocalypse 6 and 5, you're gonna choose the yellow ring by the rough line instead. Adjust, push up to max, max overpower with max curl to the right. Even with a POC 5 and 4, that ball has been going over the rough easily. So don't be afraid of that, even though you might have a lower level driver. Second shot, we're gonna play with the thorn. Max backspin, and it doesn't matter what level you have the thorn in. Max backspin is the trick, with seeing the tip of the ball guideline going up the hill a little bit. Now we're going to adjust this shot, or I do adjust in between mid and max with nothing extra. Hit a little great left, which in this case helps me big time, and I get it in for an eagle. So the thing that we do want to change is that even though we are more in between mid and max position, we are going to play it with max distance numbers with no elevation included. So there we have it, a nice little eagle. Hole number 6 is going to give all of you that do have an Apocalypse 5 or 6 a very tough time making this one with a power 3 ball. But I wanted to show you a drive with a power 3 ball to show you that it's possible. Max top spin and as much side spin to the right possible. Leave a little gap from the blue ring to the right, like compared to the rough line. And then we're going to adjust for a maximum distance with 20% over adjustment. Very important with the 20%. And now, once it's time to take the shot, we need to go with max overpower and stay away from using curl. Even though it looks like the ball is not gonna go right, but the wind is gonna push this ball so hard that if we go with curl, we're gonna have a very big problem. We get this one to be very, like, absolutely perfect, but in the end, I would suggest you to change to play with a power 4 ball, because with a power 3 ball, you would not be able to reach to where we are now. Then we do need a power 4 ball, and therefore we have a different second shot here as an option. The thing that we're gonna do here now is that we're gonna play with 3 bars of side spin and a little bit of top spin. Not much, I would say 0.2 top spin, and we aim for the top right corner of the fairway. Maximum distance with nothing extra. And the thing that I would think here though is that we're gonna remove and even just play 2 bars of side spin here, as the wind is once again gonna push us massively. Great right is also an important lesson to have. It's like you're gonna clip the rough with a great right, and now when we do clip the rough, we're gonna fall down to the green and still roll. but it is very, very important that we're not clipping the rough and roll out to have a wedge. So take it quickly from the beginning. 20% extra for the drive, nothing for the second shot, power 4 ball, so you can use the sniper without having to overpower. Very, very important. Then you will actually give yourself a decent chance for the Albatross. For hole number 7, we are going to play with a win 5 power 0 ball. Side spin 3 is very, very important here as well. We are using 6 bars of side spin to the right with 4.5 bar backspin, looking for the red ring by the rough line with the tip of the ball guide line to be 2 squares back and 1 to the left from the pin's direction. And then we're going to adjust, going to play maximum distance plus 15 in an over adjustment. And then the final little click here is going to be a tiny bit of curl to the right, and then we're going to be coming in a lovely pace. There is another ball to be able to play this hole with, which is a power 1 ball. It's called the feather ball. I don't have a picture of that one, but I wanted to mention it. And if you play with that one, you are going to play it power 1 numbers with a 15% over adjustment max distance. And then you're gonna see yourself being either very close or not get it in the hole on this very tough par 3. Hole number 8 is a hole where I consider to be a very good opportunity to making an eagle on. We want to play with 7 bars of top spin, and we're gonna play with 3 bars of right side spin. And now we're going to aim to get this ball obviously to the center of the fairway, and we do want to aim for a spot that is going to be approximately 280 yards. And that is going to be hard to get exact, because in the end you're gonna bounce into the rough and then you're gonna roll out on the fairway. We're gonna use max overpower here on this shot, and that is not something you have to be afraid of, because in the end you can hit great left, great right, and you will still bounce out on the fairway and have no problem to reach for your second shot. I play with a Centurion to reduce the wind, and I try to stay away from using max topspin with a superior club like an Apocalypse level 7 or level 8, so I'm not gonna go in between clubs. Because now we do want to find ourselves with a spot with the Grizzly or a high level B52. I'm showing the Grizzly as you do get a massive ball guideline already from level 7. So level 7, level 8, level 9, thus all of them had 100% accuracy combined with 4.4 ball guideline. So that is a club that I do think you should be focusing on using. 15% extra when it comes to the second shot. 2 bars of topspin and 1 to 2 bars of side spin to the right, depending on what's needed to align it with the pin. Unfortunately, a great right here, but it tells us 2 things. 1, we're definitely on the way to get this one dialed in. 2, with a perfect, we most likely would have missed left slightly. So that shot was a little bit over adjusted. So we need to tweak that a little bit, but you can see that rough bump is going to be absolutely beautiful for us if we can get that dial in based on yardage notes. Hole number 9 is going to be tough. It's going to be some birdies here on this one for many players, and here I would like us to play on the left hand side, even though we do have a very tough drive in front of us. But playing on the right hand side is going to give us still a hard drive, but at the same time the second shot from the right is going to be extremely tough because you're going to have a much less fairway to play on. Max overpower as much topspin as possible, and we're going to take that drive again because it went really quick. And doesn't really matter what type of driver you're going to have, you're going to play with max topspin. I would consider to play with a Thor's Hammer level 7, level 8 before I play with an Apocalypse level 5, just to put that out there. If you do have like a Cyber Ball, a season 10 ball, you might have a Wolverine ball or maybe even a Stealth ball. Try to use them instead so you get more distance, and you can also reduce the wind as well, especially if you're using a Wolverine ball or a Cyber Ball for that matter. And the thing is, we do want to reach as far as possible to give ourselves a second shot that is going to look like this. And now we're going to play this one with 3 to 3.5 bar topspin, or like 2 to 3.5 bar topspin, and as much side spin to the right possible. And now we have a good drive because once again I play with an Apocalypse level 8 and it gives me more distance here. But in the end I have been able to reach this far with an Apocalypse 5 using a different type of ball. 1.5 ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right, and we play it maximum distance with nothing extra, and we're gonna get this one nicely towards the pin. I do not consider this one to be an albatross by any means, and we're gonna see very few of them, or at least if you see someone do it, it's gonna be hard to do that again. So take that for what it is, make the eagle, and be happy with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Master. There is some opportunities for drops, but this is a tougher tournament than we had the last time. And we need to be focused especially on the drive for hole 6 and hole 9. Those two is going to be holes where people are going to mess up, and then we cannot mess up anything there. I played with an Apocalypse level 5 and made a -16 in the qualifying round, which also tells us that we can play with a lower level driver. I'm going to stream the Apocalypse level 5 account in the opening round and in the weekend round to actually show that you don't need an Apocalypse level 7 and level 8 to compete amongst the best. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Subscribe to patreon.com/golfclashtommy to get the December special where you get my updated text guides to improve your tournament play.